from the PG?
Yes, sir, we are present.
Okay, fine, right, excellent. Okay, thank
How
you.
many of you, Saraswati?
So we 7 us. We all are present. Babita
Okay.
is 10.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Is anybody in the first year classroom? Sorry, second year, third semester. Yes. Tech Bahadur sir, it's audible, na? Good morning, Dr. Karpurapandian, sir.
जाते हैं।
इसको तो आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ प्रॉब्लम हो रही है।
यही लोग बता पाएंगे एक्चुअल प्रॉब्लम क्या है। अगर यहाँ चीज वाला होगा नहीं तो बाहर
ये सब तो कहाँ है?
फोटो का बीच में
आएगा, उसके बारे में देखने के लिए बोल रहे
ठीक है, चल बोल देंगे।
अभी है ना, बताना
अकेला ही है।
Good morning, madam. Good morning, sir. Good sir.
Good morning, sir.
Am I
Morning,
audible,
sir.
sir?
Good morning, sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good morning. Okay. Karpura Sudra Pandit, sir. Is it audible? Oh. I think today's speakers songs are also joining.
Suresh, sir, hello.
Yes, madam.
Sir, oh, okay. I am audible, no, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Within 2 minutes, we can start, ma'am. 11:05. Right now, only the outside participants are joining. You can wait 2 more minutes.
Suresh, sir, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall I start then?
Only 1 minute, ma'am. Okay. We can start, ma'am. Mahendra, sir.
Yes, sir. All set to go.
Okay.
The timing, like the participants will also be joining, right? So
Yes, sir. They will join a little bit, not an issue.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
Aarti, ma'am. Please.
Okay, sir.
Before that,
So I'm
I
getting
request.
some sound.
Yeah, yeah. I request all the participants to please mute the mics. Yeah.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Satish Kumar, respected deans and HODs of various departments, my fellow colleagues, esteemed participants, and today's honorable guest speakers, Mr. P.K. Dong, Dr. New Gold Devi, and Mr. Mahendra Guru. A very good morning to everyone. It is our utmost pleasure to welcome everyone in this 3-day online training program collaboratively organized by Sri Ramaswamy Memorial University, Sikkim and National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi, on sustainability, ecotourism, and pandemics, a case study of Sikkim. Before starting the sessions, please note that we will have question-answer session at the end for 15 minutes. If any participants will have any question once our resource persons have started speaking, so you can write down in the chat box. Then, and also, I also request participants to kindly mute their microphone during the session. Today is the second day of the training program. So moving ahead with the first technical session of the day, on pandemic impact on Sikkim state tourism, I request Mr. Mahendra Guru, who is working with us as an assistant professor, and now he is heading the School of Hospitality and Tourism Studies, SRM University, Sikkim. He has 10 years of travel industry experience and 8 years of teaching experience. Sir, I invite you to impart your knowledge and experience on pandemic impact on Sikkim state tourism. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am. First of all, a very good morning and welcome to the Dignity.
Sir, you are mute. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Aarti. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible, but your video is not visible, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, good, sir.
Okay. Okay. A very good morning and welcome to all the dignitaries of NIDM and of our SRM University, resource person, and all the participants. First of all, before starting the session, I would like to thank NIDM and SRM University for holding this wonderful 3 days workshop, and I'm extremely honored to be a part of this wonderful workshop, and coming up with the topics and all. I think this will be very fruitful for each and every participants. And the topic, before starting the topic of the day of the talk which I'll be sharing with you after some time, the slides and all. First of all, let's talk about Sikkim. I'll just give a brief information about Sikkim first of all. Okay, so Sikkim, with an area of 7,096 square kilometers, populations of over like 7 lakhs, is it's the state in a northeastern India, which borders the Tibet Autonomous Region of China in the north and northeast, Bhutan in the east, Nepal in the west, and West Bengal in the south. Sikkim is also India's close to India's Siliguri corridor. Sikkim is a least populous and second smallest among the Indian states. As part of the Southern Himalaya, Sikkim is notable for its biodiversity, including alpine and subtropical climates, as well as being a host to Kanchenjunga, the highest peak in India and the third highest on Earth. Sikkim's capital and largest city is Gangtok. Almost 38% of the state is covered by Kanchenjunga National Park, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Talking about the history of Sikkim, the kingdom of Sikkim was founded by the Namgyal dynasty in the 17th century. It was ruled by Buddhist priest king known as Chogyal. It became a princely state of British India in 1890, following okay. Following Indian independence, Sikkim continued, its protectorate status with the Union of India after 1947, the Republic of India after 1950. It enjoyed the highest literacy rate as per capita income among Himalayan states. In 1973, anti-royalist riots took place in front of Chogyal's palace. In 1975, after the Indian army took over the city of Gangtok, a referendum was held that led to the deposition of the monarchy and Sikkim joining India as its 22nd state. Modern Sikkim is a multi-ethnic and multilingual Indian state. The official languages of the states are English, Nepali, Sikkimese, and Lepcha. Additional official languages including Gurung, Limbu, Magar, Mukhia, Newari, Rai, Sherpa, and Tamil for the purpose of preservation of culture and tradition in the state. English is taught in school and used in government documents. The predominant religions are Hinduism and Vajrayana Buddhism. Sikkim's economy is largely dependent on agriculture and tourism. That is why we refer Sikkim as one of the major tourist attraction destinations. As of 2014, the state had the third smallest GDP among Indian states, although it is also among the fastest growing. Sikkim accounts for the largest share of cardamom production in India and is world's second largest producer of the spice after Guatemala. Sikkim achieved its ambition to convert its agriculture to fully organic between 2003 and 2016 and became the first state in India to achieve this distinction. It is also among India's most environmental conscious states, having banned plastic water bottles in any government functions and meetings, and polystyrene products throughout the state. It is also one of the most visited destinations in India, where inflow of tourists maximizes every season. So Sikkim, it's one of the destinations that has major inflow of tourists. Every season we have like the inflow of tourists is maximizing every now and then, every season. But now again, like due to this pandemic, we suffered a huge loss in terms of economy, in terms of unemployment and all. So now on a brief, I would like to discuss about that. Before moving on to this, I would also like to thank Ms. Pema Chorin Bhutia of Madras Institute of Development Studies, whose paper I've been referring to. So I would like to share my screen now for the presentation. So my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Visible.
Okay, visible, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the topic that I'm going to talk about: pandemic impacts on Sikkim state tourism. Can someone please ask to mute the mic? Okay, moving ahead. The tourism industry in Sikkim, it is a backbone of Sikkim's economy. Tourism industry is of paramount importance to the economy of Sikkim. Therefore, we can, it can be considered as backbone of Sikkim's economy. As before, I was talking about agriculture is also one of the main stream of economic generation for the Sikkim. But now, as being one of the most visited and one of the most famous destination in Northeast India, Sikkim depends on tourism industry. Okay. So tourism is an important source of employment, both direct and indirect. for the vast section of people in the state. Directly or indirectly, anyone who is from Sikkim, they are like related with tourism industry. And it is one of the important for earning valuable foreign exchange as well. The wide variety of natural beauty that the state is blessed with, in addition to a pleasant climate all through the year, has made Sikkim a focal point of tourist attraction, both from the various states of India and foreign countries as well. The state government is an important stakeholder in developing tourism in the state. It takes an active interest in developing tourism, as it is reflected from the guiding principles for the tourism sector in the state. The important principles guiding the tourism sector in Sikkim, I will discuss this now. The first one is tourism practices shall be sustainable for the environment. So like we have, in Sikkim, for instance, like for example, Nathula, there's a spot called Nathula, which is Indo-China border. And there are other places like Katao, there's places like Zero Point, which are one of the favorable places for the tourists to visit. So for the sustainability of those places, now government has come up with some plans, some guidelines. For Nathula, previously we used to see like more than like 100 vehicles, 200 vehicles used to fly every day on an everyday basis to Nathula, which was like very harmful for the sustainability of the environment in that particular place, Nathula. It was the same condition in Zero Point and Qatar.
Sir, Kundu, namaskar. Sir, namaskar. Sir.
Okay. So it was the same condition for points like Zero Point and Qatar. Now the government is planning to, to restrict the movement of vehicle in those places. Like for instance, not more than 100 vehicles per day in Nathula. Okay, and Qatar and Zero Point, the tourists are being like led towards Zero Point and all. But for Qatar now, strictly they are trying to ban the movement of vehicle and movement of tourists in those particular places in order to preserve the sustainability of that particular place. Next point is development of tourism shall promote, preserve, and appreciate Sikkim's diverse culture. As I told you, Sikkim is like it's everywhere we go, there is a different culture in every part of Sikkim. Wherever, if you go to South Sikkim, if you go to West Sikkim, every religion, every people, they have a different culture with them. So in order to preserve them also, like, for example, the resorts, the homestays, they are coming up slowly. So in order to, for tourist attraction, not only the destination or the spots they are taking into account, but also showcasing the culture, the tradition of Sikkim's people. Like, for example, Rai. When you talk about Rai, people who are Rai, they have different culture and different traditions. Gurung, they have different tradition, different cultures. So now we are on the development, we are developing, like it has already been started in various major resorts and major homestays, like for showcasing this kind of, traditions, this kinds of culture, different cultures, diverse cultures, to show the diverse cultures of Sikkim we have. Okay. The fourth one is tourism practices shall be inclusive in nature, as it renders equal opportunities to all sections of people. Development, when we talk about tourism development or destination development rather, not only the people who are directly involved in destination development should have the opportunity to be in the tourism. The people, the grassroots level people, especially the local peoples of that particular area, they should get the opportunity, equal opportunity also. So that is what in Sikkim we do that now. Like, for example, if there are some, kind of tourism spot, new tourism spots coming up, not only taking into account with like the people who are directly involved in tourism, like for example, the people who are building up the resort, people who are building up the hotels in that particular area or attraction place in that particular area, but the benefit and the opportunity are also provided to the local people of that particular area. So indirectly or directly, as I told you in the beginning, all the people of Sikkim, they are involved in tourism. The fourth one is the thrust of tourism development shall be on providing quality experience and service and greater tourist satisfaction and safety. This is that we have been following, since Sikkim has been declared as one of the major tourist attracting destination. We are not only developing a particular place, a particular destination, a particular spot, but we are giving them the best service in the industry. If you happen to encounter with any of the chauffeur, the drivers of especially the Innovas, the luxury vehicles, Innovas, Xylos and all, those people are well qualified, well educated. So whenever we deal with tourists, whenever these people deal with tourists, they don't require guides because they know in and out of Sikkim, in and out of each and every destination, each and every spots. The spots in the aspects of the tradition, in aspects of the culture, everything. Right. See, available statistics data, it reveals that the significance of tourism to the state's economy, as data provided by Tourism and Civil Aviation Department, Government of Sikkim, it indicates to a substantial inflow of tourists, both domestic as well as international to the state. At the onset of the tourism boom, see, China reported the pandemics towards the end of December 2019, creating havoc in all sectors. The initial outbreak spread it like a wildfire across nations, spreading exponentially, infecting close to 4.4 million people across the world. Governments have responded by closing their borders, imposing bans on entrance, and closing all the state borders. Public spaces were forced to shut to enforce social distancing. Transport facilities were reduced, and a complete lockdown was enforced throughout the country. Sikkim and the impacts of COVID-19. Sikkim, a northeastern state in India, as I told you, it is the second smallest and least populated state in India. It borders China, North Bhutan in east, Nepal in west, and Indian state of West Bengal in South Sikkim. Sikkim boasts of being a fully organic state with regard of agriculture and is deemed to be India's most environmentally conscious state. The gross domestic product of Sikkim is dependent mainly on terrace farming of rice and cultivation of cash crops. Despite having minimal industrial infrastructure, the state's economy has been one among the fastest growing economy. According to the Indian state's GDP database, the state's GDP expanded by 89.93% in 2010 alone. Furthermore, in recent years, the government of Sikkim has prioritized tourism as a contributor to its economy, because of which the revenue has increased 14 times since mid-90s. The state has also invested in a full-fledged gambling industry, which promotes both casinos and online gambling. The opening of Nathula Pass has been billed as a boon for Sikkim's economy. Tourism in Sikkim is as important as air or water. It is largest employment generating sector for the whole state. reports, it suggests that 7 out of every 10 families are connected to tourism that generates business of around 2,000 crores in a year. At least 40% of premium class foreign tourists visiting Nepal or Bhutan prefer touching Sikkim. Arrival of close to 1.5 lakh foreign tourists and around 14 lakh domestic visitors in a year contributes a significant share in the annual tourism business. In 2019, more than 1.2 million Indian tourists visited Sikkim, and the number of foreigners visiting Sikkim stood 1,32,388. So I'd like to show you a table. So this is like this table is the source is Tourism and Civil Aviation Department, Government of Sikkim, and it's of 2011 to 2017. So in the year like 2011, the total number of domestic tourist inflow was like 5,52,453. In 2012, 5,58,538. In 2013, it was 5,76,749. In 2014, 5,62,480. In 2015, 7,05,023. In 2016, 7,40,763. And in 2017, it was 13,75,854. So from this particular chart, the inflow of domestic tourists, we can note that the number of domestic tourists coming in Sikkim has increased every year since 2011. This proves the popularity of Sikkim as a preferred and popular tourist destination for domestic tourists in our country. This is foreign tourist inflow in Sikkim during 2011-2017. Again, the source is Tourism and Civil Aviation Department, Government of Sikkim. In 2011, we received around 23,945 international tourists. In 2012, 26,489. In 2013, 31,698. In 2014, 49,175. In 2015, 38,479, and in 2016, 66,012, and 2017, 49,111. So these are the data that we have. So COVID-19, how it affected. So Sikkim, as I told you, in tourism in Sikkim is as important as air and water. Plus, it is the largest employment generating sector. I told you 7 out of every 10 families, they are connected to tourism to generate a business. They generate the business of around 2,000 crores in a year. So more than 1.2 million in 2019, more than 1.2 million Indian tourists visited Sikkim. And the number of foreigners visiting Sikkim stood like 1,32,388. Now, as yesterday, ma'am and sir was discussing about, around Sikkim suffered around, 600 crores of 600 crore blow as coronavirus pandemic crippled the tourism industry. Tourism sector suffered losses to the tune of rupees 600 crore. Due to pandemic. The Himalayan state of Sikkim, with a population of under 7 lakh, reeled under the serious crisis in 2020 as the COVID-19 pandemic crippled the tourism industry and mainstay of its economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has, it's been devastating impact on the tourism industry, which is backbone of state's economy. India-China trade and the Nathula border pass was also suspended in the wake of pandemic. Generally, whenever there has been any major impact on the economy, tourism has always been the first one to get affected as people start to cut down on their travel budget. In case of COVID-19, the tourism sector has a direct role to play since most cases have been recorded in places with a high number of tourists and migrants. As per reports, millions of jobs in global tourism industries has been lost due to the pandemic. So like the question is, how has the pandemic affected one of the cleanest and the remotest state in India? That is the big question. The answer is COVID-19. COVID confirmed patient till 22nd May 2020. Its tourism sector, Sikkim's tourism sector was badly hit. Economic Revival Committee has also been set in the state by government, which has started working on restoring the state's economy by reviewing measures to improve tourism and hospitality. Sector-wise analysis of targets are underway, which will promote recovery from the loss due to COVID-19 pandemic. So now, what were the problems faced by Sikkim? First one is unemployment and unable to pay installments. People who were like the service provider, especially the people who had as a service provider, transporter, who were as a transporter, as a service provider, they faced unemployment and they were unable to pay their installment, because here in Sikkim, as tourism is one of the largest industry, which is one of the is one of the importance of giving employment and also in terms of economy. So like people here, what they did was they started getting vehicles on loans, and they started like doing business. They started like bringing tourists with them. But after the pandemic, what happened when everything was shut down? The people here, they bought the cars, they bought their vehicles in loans. They had to pay EMIs every month. But when the business was down, when it was totally short, people were unable to pay their installments on time. And the banks, when you are not able to pay the installments, when you are not able to pay the EMIs, they will again like charge the fees or penalties. So those people were badly hit, because they were those people were like the sole income provider for their family. They were not being able to pay the monthly installment of the car loan, plus they were jobless. There are so many peoples who ply cabs in Sikkim for their livelihood, but due to pandemic, they lost their jobs. They were unable to bear bread and butter for their families. And next one is non-Sikkimis. Most of the tourism business in Sikkim, they are run by non-locals in partnership with the locals. Many hotels are leased out to non-Sikkimis businessmen who faced a massive loss with the stagnated tourism sector. Lockdown has pushed hotel business in the travel industry hotspot Sikkim to the age where speculators from Bengal and different states are the main casualties. Equivalent victim is over 70% of Sikkim populace reliant on hospitality industry that creates around rupees 1.5 lakhs business there in a year. Sikkim has around 15 lakh residential and 1.5 lakh remote visitors every year in its close to 2,000 lodgings and hotels with aggregate around 35,000 rooms. This acquires a business volume of around 650 crores from accommodation in particular. counting food, transportation, and all different ancillaries, the all-out accommodation business volume of the states comes around 1.5 crores. Over 80% of these hotels, these inns, these accommodation units, they are run on rent. The rent sum for rent holder is determined relying on limit, quality, or area of the property. The rent can, sum up to like rupees 1.5 lakh to 2.5 lakh per every room every year, and it should be paid ahead of time or in portions. This was like from the director of hotel organization. As the general pattern goes, Sikkim inns get around 90 to 100 days over 90% inhabitants. April, May, June, the pinnacle season, contributes 60 days in it. In the end, rent holders settle conventions by paying the sum before beginning of summer. So non-Sikkimese people were also badly affected. Number 3. Most of the tourism business is run by the non-locals. The natives are unwilling to work in their own state and have moved to other places for employment. With the pandemic hitting worldwide, Sikkimese working in the other states, other neighboring states, were forced to walk to reach their hometown with little money given by their owners. There are so many people who, are walking, who was working outside the state. But when the pandemic hit, they were forced to leave their job and come back to the homestay. Since Sikkim turned into 100% natural express, the inflow of voyagers has expanded by 25% and had promoted wellness tourism industry. The pandemic leading to closure of the state borders has also indirectly affected the farmers. As per the reports by the Guardian, organic farmers have sold their produce to the tourists, which the local people are unwilling to buy. The organic vegetables and fruits are like more expensive and hence not enough local visits in the organic market due to pandemic. Further, next point, artisans, the artists promoting Sikkim culture was also affected with their livelihood at the stake, because the artists, they make this particular artistic this thing for souvenirs, and also that the tourists, when they come to Sikkim, they take this as a souvenirs to the state for their families and friends. But due to pandemic, when everything was shut down, the inflow of tourists was not there at all, so these people were very much badly affected. The border goods exchange through Nathula Pass was, that time it was booked, so they start in May. While the Kailas Mansarovar Yatra through the course was scheduled to initiate in June. The Ministry of External Affairs sorts out the Yatra from June-September every year through 2 unique courses. One is Lupulek Pass in Uttarakhand and Nathula Pass in Sikkim. Kailas Mansarovar, which is in Tibet. The Nathula border trade between India and China was resumed in 2006, after a gap of more than 4 decades, while the annual Kailas Mansarovar Yatra through the pass had begun 2 years ago. But due to this pandemic, it was totally shut down. Now, coming to the conclusion of this particular session, see, the COVID-19 pandemic, it has created a huge loss to economy in general and has impacted the tourism industry a large extent. The restriction on travel has created a slump in demand among the nationwide traveler. Foreign arrivals in March 2020 fell by 66.4% year on year. Sikkim, with 0 confirmed positive cases till 22nd May 2020, has managed to restrict the spread of the virus, but with a major loss to the livelihood of the locals. The tourism sector can be revived by enabling more testing centers in the state with stringent measures on hygiene and safety. Furthermore, the locals should be enlightened with the noble cause of self-sustainability and trained to understand the importance of their own resources. Tourism can also be boosted with the use of local foods and culture and by giving moratorium to the affected lot. So, thank you so much. I'd like to conclude my presentation here and over to Aarti. And if you have any queries, any questions, we have allotted a time of 15 minutes after the completion of all the sessions so that you can ask the questions in there. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the informative session. So kindly stop the presentation.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, done, sir. Thank you, sir.
My video.
Moving forward with the second session of the day on Sikkim State Tourism on Environmental Impact, I request Mr. P.K. Dong, who has worked with the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Mr. Dong is a widely traveled person in India and abroad. He was based in Frankfurt, Germany for 10 years from 1988 to January 1998. Thereafter, he joined Sikkim Tourism Development Corporation as its first executive director and subsequently upgraded as its CEO and managing director. Thereafter, he worked as a consultant in various national and international organizations, namely NEDFI, JICA, ADB, SNV, and state government in Northeastern regions like Meghalaya, Mizoram, Bodoland, and also to various travel trade associations and hotels. He also worked in Sikkim University as visiting guest faculty. He was also a member in expert committee of IGNOU for designing MTTM course and a standing resource person to various universities like NBU, NEHU, Uttarakhand, Manipur, Shantiniketan, IITM Gwalior, and Shillong. Presently, he is still leading an active life wherein he is reading, writing, and speaking in various social and educational forums. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Dong to kindly share his insights with us.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning to Dr. Suresh and Mr. Mahindra Guru for kindly inviting me to this workshop. I mean, my job has been made much easier and shorter by the presentation of Madam Rupali Sinha or Rupa Sinha yesterday, and this morning by Mr. Mahindra Guru's presentation. My compliments to you, Mr. Mahindra Guru. It was an excellent presentation on the scenario of Sikkim tourism after the pandemic. Now, I don't have much to add, but what I would say is that there's some points that I would like to touch upon. Firstly, to talk frankly, we don't have so many industries like heavy industries or medium industries or small scale industries.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Sure.
Your this voice is very much low. Volume is very much low. You're not being able to hear it properly.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
video,
Video is also not able to see.
oh, yes, sir. The video and audio.
Micro is now I think I'll have to. Can you hear me? See me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
But can you see me also?
No, sir.
Okay. Now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You won't be so happy to see me because I am an old man of 84. Toothless to some extent.
So we are very lucky to have you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And thank you for your introduction also. It was very
Welcome.
kind of you. So we have very limited manufacturing industry. For example, we have got the pharmaceutical industry. We have got the distillery industries, and to some extent we can call hydropower generating industry as an industry. We hear a lot of complaints
Ma'am,
about all the
I'm sorry for the interruption. Dong sir, it's very low audible because we are providing that live stream to the YouTube also. From the YouTube viewers, they are not able to hear your voice, sir.
So I should raise the
Is it
volume.
possible if you are using that microphone better near to that?
So do you have earphone?
No, I don't have earphone. Let me see. Sit up. My ears are okay. Even my eyesight is okay. And the only problem is with my tooth. Maybe. Now, if I raise the voice, can we hear me?
So
Is it
actually,
audible, little bit audible in the Zoom itself, sir? But when we are streaming in the YouTube,
Yeah.
we could not able to hear that.
Okay, that is very important. The whole idea is to make myself audible.
Okay.
If they can't listen to me, then what's the point? MC, can you please tell me how do I correct myself? How to rectify this one?
so if you have earphone, it will be easy, I guess, because that mic, because of the mic, we can hear you.
Can you give me
Otherwise,
1
systems
minute?
mic where it is close to that, he can speak. No?
Just 1 minute. I will just.
Yes, sir.
Just
That
take
1 minute we can hear little bit voice. Dear participants, sorry for the inconvenience due to the technical issue. I think everyone knows about that. He is around 84 years old. Almost he has an 60 to 65 years experience in the travel industry as well as the academician also.
So let me continue in the meantime with this limited audibility. You see, we hear some criticism about hydro projects. We hear something about pharmaceutical companies, but I have not heard any complaints or criticism about distillery industry. Now my engineer has come, my grandson. Am I audible?
No, sir, your voice is still low. I guess, yes, sir. So you can raise the volume, sir, over there.
Raise the volume. Are you also audio engineer or what?
No, sir.
Now, can you hear me? No.
So volume.
Volume. Now. Now. Now.
It is still a little low only.
Hello, if everybody can hear me, I can continue. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is
So
okay.
for me, actually, it is audible because I'm using microphone, like earphone. So for me, it is audible. What about Suresh, sir?
What is Suresh, sir? Are you in Tamil Nadu or?
Yes, in the Zoom, I can understand, ma'am. But when it is goes to the YouTube live stream, that we at the time we could not able to hear any voice. That's why.
Now? Is
In the
okay?
classroom, is it audible? Rupa, ma'am? Mana, sir?
No, sir. It's coming very low.
It is very low, sir.
It's kind of understandable?
No, sir. No, sir. It's very low.
Dong, sir. Is it possible no problem, you can use the system mic, better you can speak in front of the mic itself.
Oh, I'm using my this mobile phone only.
Oh, mobile phone.
Yeah, maybe because of that. Huh?
Oh.
My system has been taken by my grandson. It has been hijacked.
And then you can use any like headphone or anything, na? No, actually, he is using earphone. So can you raise the volume, sir? Can you raise the volume?
Volume. You have to teach me.
So at the side, you
Yeah,
I guess
that
you'll
I have
have.
raised. That I have raised. Now, Shubham Roy Kakari. Can you hear me?
So, so I guess we can continue, sir, because in Zoom we can hear, no?
Okay. So,
Classroom is audible?
No, sir.
No, right
it
now,
is
sir.
not at all audible.
No,
Or
right
like,
now, sir, not at speak, started speaking. Yes, sir. Dong,
So
sir,
it is
please,
very
sir.
low.
I'm hearing your voice loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
I'm
So
hearing-
otherwise, sir, you can keep your phone near you and you can remove your earphone. So that way we can hear you properly, I guess.
Okay. I have removed. Can you hear me now?
Better you can switch, turn off your camera, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, you can tell about that, switch off the camera.
So
we
you can
speak like
switch off
this.
your camera and you can keep your phone near you and talk, sir. So you can place it like this and you can talk, sir.
Now? Now
Sorry,
can you hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Better, sir.
Better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. You don't have to look at my
I think it is
face.
better right now, sir.
Yeah, better. No?
Rupa,
Thank
ma'am?
you, Dr.
Yes, a little bit more, sir.
Okay.
Now,
Sir, continue, sir. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
okay. Now, you see, among the service industries, the largest and easily visible to the host community and to the visitors is, of course, the tourism industry. Yes, there is no doubt Sikkim state is one of the tourism is the main key engines that drives other industries such as hotel, transport, food and beverage industry, and so on. So, even the photo studios and other multiplier effects like dairy farming, poultry, vegetables, floriculture, horticulture, etc., as Mr. Mahindra has very elaborately explained. I don't want to add any further that one. But when tourism hit rock bottom during the COVID-19 pandemic, that raised the state for almost 2 years, from 2002 to the recent puja season, it is just recovering from the adverse effects of tourism, uh, uh, adverse effects brought on tourism by the public health service, by the public health crisis. Every day in Sikkim, whether government or private sector, everybody, all people felt the loss of vibrancy in the society with the quick downfall and the steep downfall of tourism in the wake of pandemics. Even the usual critics of tourism were missing the vibrancy and glamour of tourism in the MG mark. Now the question before the government and industry, how to revive, survive, and thrive in the new normal atmosphere. While discussing about sustainable tourism, I would like to point out both sides of the coin, demand as well as supply. On the demand side, the modern tourists are educated, they are aware of importance of conserving environment, natural and cultural, but in the meantime, they also want authentic experience, clean, safe, and tranquil environment on the supply side. The hoteliers, transport operators, guides, tour operators, and travel agents should also be educated, skilled, and polite. Even tourists might not mind, rather enjoy the experience of being served by unskilled staff, provided they are authentic in their hospitality. They don't mind tea being served in saucer also. It will be fun for them, but uh, they want complete, authentic hospitality on behalf of the staff. Even in Venice, is one of the most important tourist spots in Italy. I remember I went there once along with with one tourism minister from Sikkim and some officers from Ministry of Tourism and others. I was with Sikkim Tourism at that time, and I am a whiskey drinker. So I asked one bar for a whiskey. So the barman was looking here and there, and you are searching for something, and we did not know what is the searching for. Then I asked him, because I had studied in Italy, so I asked the man, "What are you looking for?" And he says, "No, I'm looking for whiskey. We had whiskey, but I'm not getting." I said, "Right in front of you, there's a whiskey bottle." And he said, "Oh, this is whiskey. I never knew." So because in Italy, in Europe, most of the people they drink wine and beer, light drink, not like we Indians we drink whiskey. And it was a great fun for us. I still remember that incident. We didn't mind. He was not. They are not used to whiskey, but serve us whiskey with a great hospitality. The spirit of hospitality was there with him. So same thing in India, you serve, even if you are not trained in serving the people, tea or whiskey or anything, but it you please serve with the spirit of hospitality, which is sometimes missing. So what we come to the conclusion of Mr. Mahindra Gurung's presentation, he has very clearly indicated that is tourism industry is one of the key industry in Sikkim. It has got multiple economic activities uh, and multiple effects, benefits. But uh, that's why the government as well as the people are interested in developing tourism in Sikkim. But the critics of tourism would say we agree with the tremendous economic effects of tourism, but they would ask, what about its environmental impact? Before we come to the question, I would like to submit tourism sector, both government and private sector, is quite conscious of the importance of environment because their main bread and butter, the natural attractions and cultural attraction come from the environment. By degrading the nature or cultural environment, they would be the first sufferers of tourism because that tourism will avoid the mountains which are without snow. They would avoid deforested and soil eroded area. They will avoid area which are littered with plastic bottles and other refuse and dirty items. They would avoid soil eroded areas and dangerous landslides, congested cities, overbuilt cities, artificial culture, and polluted roads. This is some of the main environmental hazards that we can see in Sikkim. And what we need to do is a sustainable development of tourism. We cannot forsake or give up development of tourism and its promotions just for the sake of conservation of environment, because then people would ask, what is the use of development if development means people remains poor, hungry, if the children would remain unemployed, if the people remain below the human standard of living, and so on. So let us not throw the baby along with the bathtub. On the other hand, we must accept tourism also brings unregulated growth of traffic, pollution, scarcity of water, law and order problems, social problems like drugs, human trafficking, etc. Hence, what we need is a balanced growth of tourism, which is sustainable tourism development, as UN has declared. Let us also be guided by the World Sustainable Development Goals. In my opinion, I would say tourism, Sikkim per se has not exceeded the carrying capacity because the total bed capacity in Sikkim is at the moment, at the most, I would say 50,000, including all sorts of accommodation, classified, unclassified, and homestays and guest houses, etc. So this is, I got this information when I had a thorough discussion with SSR, Sikkim Hotel and Restaurant Association. that in the maximum per night tourists can stay would be 50,000 against the local population of 6,000, 6 lakhs 50,000 or 7 lakhs. Hence, there are certain areas like Chongu Lake, Yoksam Dongri trekking route, and Yumtang Valley tend to become over congested with tourists for a certain period of the tourist season. But this can also be managed with proper planning and management. For example, what we see, we make a number of development plans for construction of infrastructure and facilities, but without proper management plans. Hotels with waste management and parking facilities. We make a beautiful trekker huts in the trekking route, but no management plans for fuel, litter, and waste, not prepared for follow-up at all. Tourist attractions are created, but no proper toilet facilities, information boards for do's and don'ts. We create wayside facilities, but no proper parking facilities and toilet facilities. And this cleanliness are not maintained properly. I think pay and use is the answer to most facilities. I have, when I traveled from Delhi to Jaipur, I found the wayside facilities were all pay and use, and they were well maintained. And so this cleanliness is a very important thing. So, so what is this problem? The issues before us is how do we develop the tourism without infringement of the environmental laws. It is time I would request conservationists have also had a hard look at the environmental laws to see if the present laws should be amended to make them less rigid to help local people without compromising the conservation of the biodiversity. For example, why not hunting be allowed if this is going to help maintain balance in the economic system? Why not tree cutting in a regulated manner be allowed if that is going to encourage people to plant more trees as a replacement? Why not development in so-called reserve areas allowed if adequate measures are ensured about the conservation of the biodiversity? The uppermost question in the minds of the local people is if such activities like hunting, felling trees, and development under proper regulation can be allowed in developed countries, why not in India? You see, the countries like China, Germany, Malaysia, their timber is a main industry for them. They are exporting wooden furniture outside. They are selling the Germany, Malaysia, China. They are selling their wooden furniture in India, and we are buying. I have also bought, and I have visited these countries, and I found their greeneries has not reduced. They have got a fixed regulated plan for all these industries. So blanket ban on felling trees and developing activities may make the jobs of the management easy, but the system will alienate the local people. Let us not forget that the rural people of Sikkim have equal, if not more, knowledge and concern for conservation of their natural and cultural environment. It is time that yesterday Madam Rupa Sinha had made a very forceful presentation that what we require is all the stakeholders of both conservation and tourism should meet and formulate a plan for development of tourism in such a way that without compromising the environmental laws, we can develop tourism also. So, of course, there are one or two areas which raise concern. For example, Chongu Lake and this Jongri, Yoksham Jongri trekking route and Yumthang Valley, they seem to be a bit over crowded with tourists during the tourist season. But I think they can be managed by zoning them, by regulating the tourist traffic, staggering the timing, like they have done in other countries. I think we should also follow that these practices, and I think the development of tourism and development of infrastructure should go hand in hand with the conservation of environment. This is the call of the day for both conservationists as well as for the tourism stakeholders. Thank you so much, and rest. I hope I was audible to some extent, Aruchi.
Yes, sir, you were audible, sir. I heard you and I have listed down your points also, some points.
Okay. So, Mr. Mahendra sir was saying that you will have a question answer session later on at the end, is it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At the end, because one more resource person will be having now, and after that, we'll have question answer session, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. All the people, those who listen to me, I hope they did listen, they could hear me. Next time, I will not give my computer to my grandson, but I have to give him because his exam is approaching. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful talk.
Okay, Charity, thank you for thanking me.
Yes, sir. Okay. Moving on for the last session of the day on gender equality, Northeastern state tourism. It is my privilege to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Nugul Devi, who has expertised on gender equality. She has been awarded doctoral degree from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Currently, she is working as a guest faculty in the Department of Sociology in Delhi University. She also worked as an assistant professor in Arunachal University of Studies. She has published 2 research papers in referred journals and 2 book chapters. She also has presented paper in 7 seminars and conferences, including 1 international and 6 national level. Dear ma'am, I invite you to share your thoughts on it.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. And sorry, I have some health issues today. So thank you so much, NIDM and SRM University, for giving me this opportunity to share some of the knowledge that I have on gender equality. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I have some network problems, so I will use only the audio so that it will not have any problem in
Oh, ma'am.
is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are you using your mobile phone, ma'am?
Yes, I'm using my mobile phone, sir.
You can put your mobile phone in the vertical manner.
Okay, sir.
Then it will go for a full slide. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it okay, sir?
Now it's
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
You can
Thank you, sir.
continue, ma'am.
Okay, today I will talk on gender equality and Northeastern states tourism. As in the early sections, Mr. Sir Mahendra and Sir PK Sir has talked very much well in the tourism section, how COVID-19 affected the tourism sector in the Sikkim state, and how PK Sir has explained very well about the sustainable tourism, how we should approach toward this sustainable tourism. So I will talk on gender equality. So before going to gender equality and tourism, how tourism affect gender equality, or how it helps in bringing gender equality in the society, with special reference to the Northeastern state. It is important to know what gender is, but every one of us know what gender is in a normal sense. But I think it is necessary to mention here what gender is. Gender refers to the social attributes and opportunities associated with being male and female, and the relationship between women and men and girls and boys, as well as the relations between women and those between men. So it is according to the United Nations definition of gender. So in a very simple understanding, gender just refers to the social and the cultural constructed roles that men and women should possess. It is different from the sex, which is defined from the biological differences between men and women. Gender talks about the socially and the culturally constructed roles that men and women should perform in the society as a social being. So gender is socially and culturally constructed roles of both men and women. And after that, we will go to gender equality definition. What gender equality really is? Gender equality refers to the equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of women and the men, and girls and the boys. Equality does not mean that women and the men will become the same, but that women's and the men's rights, responsibilities, and opportunities will not depend on whether they are born as men or female. So it is also according to the definition given by United Nations. So gender equality talks about the equal rights and responsibilities and opportunities between men and the women. As a human being, each and everyone has our own rights to enjoy equal opportunities in every field and take equal responsibility as a human being. So it is very important to have gender equality in the society. As it is mentioned in the definition, having gender equality or talking about gender equality doesn't mean that men and women will become equal, but opportunities and responsibilities should be given equally to both men and the women without saying that they are born as a male or female. So next we will go to tourism. Tourism, I don't think it. I need to go in details because Mahendra sir has already talked much in details about tourism, and PK sir has also explained very well about tourism. So, what for the purpose of this? Tourism is a social, cultural, and economic phenomena which entails the movements of people to countries or places outside their usual environment for personal or business or professional purposes. These people are called visitors, which may be either tourists or excursionists, residents or non-residents. And tourism has to do with their activities, some of which involve tourism expenditure. So it is also according to the definition given by United Nations World Tourism Organization. So it is also a social, cultural, and the economic phenomena where the movements of people from one country to another country or one place to the another place taken place. It is for a long term or short term. So it is about tourism. It is also related to the social and the cultural phenomena which is happening in the society that involves the movement of people from one place to the another. Let's see why gender and tourism is important. In order to achieve sustainable development goals, which is targeted to achieve in 2030, the fifth goal that is targeted to achieve in the sustainable development goal, that is achieving gender equality and empower all women and the girls. In order to achieve this fifth goal of the sustainable development goal, gender and tourism is very important because tourism will take a very important role in achieving gender equality in the society. Let's see two reasons. First one, national government and international organizations are committed to gender equality through a series of commitments. The Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Gender Discrimination Against Women, the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, and the Agenda for Sustainable Development, in particular, Sustainable Development Goal 5, as I have just mentioned, gender equality and women empowerment are fundamental components of such equitable society. So, in order to have an equal society based on equitable facilities provided to both men and women, gender equality and women empowerment is very important. So in achieving this goal, tourism will play a very important role by providing equal opportunities to both men and women. So this is the first reason. In order to achieve gender equality and women empowerment for having equitable society, tourism is very important. Second one, due to women's concentration in lower status and lower paid jobs in tourism, their potential to contribute fully is currently untapped. Empowering women to participate fully in economic life is essential to building strong economies, creating more stable and just societies, achieving internationally agreed goals for development, sustainability, and human rights, and improving the quality of life of women and consequently that of communities. So as we consider, and sometimes most and not on the sometime, most of the time we conceive and perceive that women are concentrated mainly in the lower status and low paid jobs in tourism. We think that it is necessary for women to come up higher in the society by doing higher status or higher paid jobs in every institution or in every segment of the society. So here also tourism will play a very important role because the impact of the impact in order to give gender equality or to bring gender equality and women empowerment, tourism will be very helpful. It will be very beneficial to bring gender equality and women empowerment in the society, because tourism sector will provide diverse as well as gender equitable jobs, so that every man and women can enjoy their opportunities. And by providing diverse and the gender equitable jobs, tourism sector also grow and perform better, because they are providing equal opportunities to both men and women. Each person, whether it is men or women, they have their own uniqueness, own unique capabilities and capacities to perform, to show their intelligence, to show their creativeness, to show off their skills, to apply all these things. Tourism sector will provide opportunities to both men and women. So it will be a very impressive role that is to be performed and is still performing by the tourism sector in the society to bring gender equality in the society. So after this, sorry, tourism in Northeast India. I don't think it's much needed. I will just briefly discuss after this, as everyone has explained in details about this. We have I will skip all these things. So lastly, I would like to discuss on gender equality and tourism in Northeastern states. My analysis is based on the secondary sources, secondary data. As tourism provides lots of opportunities and lots of initiatives to the society in terms of employment, in terms of entrepreneurship, in order to develop new skills or new initiatives in the society related to education and training, and related to leadership, policy and decision making, community and civil society, and related to lifestyle and living standards. How tourism is in this field, how it helps in bringing gender equality in the society, which especially refers to the Northeastern states. In general, women in Northeastern states are very much actively involved in the employment section of the society. In all these 8 states of Northeastern India, women are involving, women are doing in some kind of activities that she can learn, she can earn for her own livelihood. I think women in the Northeastern state doesn't depend on anyone else. Maybe wrong, but to some higher extent, women in the Northeastern state are very much independent. They do their own life earning jobs, and they earn for themselves, whether it may be in the field of handicraft, any other service sector, or any other agricultural related fields also. May I continue?
Yes, ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah. So apart from tourism also, tourism related fields related to employment, women in these Northeastern states are very much independent. They are involving in some kind of activities so that they can earn for herself. And in this field, sorry, in the field of entrepreneurship also, women are contributing their best contribution. They are opening new enterprises in the field of handicraft, in the field of handloom, in the field of service sector, in the field of food processing industries also. All these new enterprises are also directly or indirectly related or connected to the tourism industry. So women are also directly or indirectly involved in the or connected with the tourism industry. So in my perspective, women in Northeastern states are not left behind in this field of employment or entrepreneurship also. They are going along with the this tourism industry. So in the field of education and training also, many institutes, many government organizations are imparting training related to hospitality and tourism related field to generate jobs among the youth as well as other sections of the society. How we should treat tourists, how we should manage this new influence of tourism. So knowledge are also imparting to the youths, especially youths, without giving any differences between men and the women or being male or female. So equal opportunities are providing in this field also related to education and training. Leadership, policy and decision making. In this field also, in this area also, women are actively participating in the leadership as well as in the decision making process. Yes, related to political activities, the status of women in Northeast is still lagging behind as compared to the male section of the society. But related to tourism and other socioeconomic activities, apart from this political arena, women are actively involving. In one of the studies that have done related to women empowerment and tourism industry, how tourism industry helps in the women empowerment, the study that was done with special reference to the Sikkim state. In the study, it was found that women are actively involving in the tourism industry. In the field of decision making also, they are actively participated. And it was found that more than male section of the society, women are actively involved in this tourism industry. More than 50% of the women are actively involved in the employment section of the tourism department. Even indirectly, women are also involved in this tourism activities, like indirect tourism activities like hotels, opening hotels, cafeteria, and other like household business, tea stalls, travels, handloom, and handicraft. So women are also indirectly involved in all these tourism related activities. And while taking decisions also, women are also actively participating in the decision making process. Women who are working in the tourism department are also contributing their decision making attributes while taking any decision related to the tourism activities in the state. So community and civil society related arena, as I have just mentioned, that women are also actively participating in the decision making process. In the community and the civil society, women are actively participating, women are actively involving in this community and civil society in many parts of Northeastern India. They are actively involving in community activities, in the civil society or activities also. Whenever any activities related to environment awareness program were organized, or any other activities are organized in the society, women are actively involved. They come out and they join in all these activities. So women are also actively participated in the civil society activities. Because of all these things, involvement by women in all these activities related to employment, entrepreneurship, training and education, or in the decision-making processes, lifestyle and living standard of the women in this particular area are also developing. So tourism directly and indirectly helping in bringing gender equality in the states of Northeastern states. As PK sir has just mentioned that tourism also brings social problems in the society like human trafficking and all. Human trafficking is very much related to gender issues, sexual harassment and all. So many issues related to this are also coming up. We need to take very much careful steps in order to prevent all these human trafficking activities from this area also. That needs to take a very much careful steps in order to prevent these illegal activities. So apart from this, environment hazards are also bring in these areas due to some neglect habit or bad habits from the tourists or some other even the local organizers. But local organizers are very much actively involved in creating great eco-friendly environment. But because of all these things, some negative impact are also still giving to the state. But overall, tourism promotes gender equality. It helps in bringing women empowerment as well as gender equality in the region. And it will be contributing to bring further gender equality in the society by providing better job opportunities, better job options for women. As I have just mentioned, women are involved in providing employment to the society through this tourism, but most of the jobs that is being doing by women are confined only to the low level or low status job. Many hotels, many big hotels are open not by the women. It is still dominated by the male section of the society. Women are still confined in this tea stall, restaurants, cafeterias, and some kind of handloom and handicraft and this kind of activities. Yes, it directly, indirectly helps because lots of festivals, lots of handloom and handicraft melas festivals are organized by the state in order to promote these handloom and handicraft and other related activities in the state. But still, women are still confined in the arena where people considered it as a lower status or lower job. So we need to go up where we can explore and where we can fight with other sections of the society, and tourism will bring lots of opportunities for the women in the future also, and it will bring gender equality in the society. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, sir. I will wind up my presentation here. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I'm ending my presentation here, sir. Sorry.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now we will move towards question and answer session. Participants can unmute their microphone and ask, or else you can text in the chat box. I request participants to please ask questions if you have. You can unmute yourself and ask, or else you can chat in the chat. You can write down in the chat box. I'll read out the questions.
Morning to respected teachers. My name is Sanandaji and I'm from BSc STM 5th year. My question is for PK sir. So, how can innovators reach out to the sector if they have a new invention related to tourism? Thank you.
Oh, sorry, to me, would you kindly repeat your question?
So my question is, how can innovators reach out to the sector if they have new invention related to tourism?
Oh, yes, thank you very much for asking a very innovative question. Huh? These are the questions, the same asked to me in Indian Institute of Management in Shillong. So tourism. For example, there's ample, we are taking them to only to natural attraction or to old cultural attraction. Why not we create new ideas like in souvenir industry? You see, in Sikkim, people, they come, they want to take some souvenir, whereas in Sikkim, souvenir industry hasn't come up so much. I would rather compliment Nagaland for that. Nagaland has got a number of souvenirs to buy and carry. Assam has got, but in Shillong, if you take Choksi, such a huge one, how to carry? The carpet is so expensive, we can't carry. Can we produce some innovative products that will be affordable and the people will love to carry as a souvenir to their home? This is one idea. Even for authentic food, traditional food of Sikkim, I think we are having Thukpa Momo, but Thukpa Momo has invaded all the markets in India. Like dosa is available in North India and paratha is available in Chennai. So dosa, this Thukpa Momo is also available at all. But will they be able to serve this traditional food in a very innovative manner? Innovative manner means it's the same old wine, but in a new bottle. New atmosphere, new thing. But what we are saying, MG Mark, there is a proliferation of pizza huts and all these things. Why not we have some traditional food? In Kathmandu, I saw some traditional food being served in a traditional manner, in traditional atmosphere also, with cultural dance and everything. So I think there are so many ideas to come up in even for the tours. We had I was lucky to attend one startup business for new entrepreneurs, and there one tour operator. He is not a professional tour operator. He is a teacher. He innovated one new tour, educational tour for science students, and they took them to the destination and where their guides were scientists only, and they were giving the talk. So like that, there are a number of ideas. There are avenues opening for innovators, those who want to come to tourism sector. They are more. Thank you, ma'am, for asking me that question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected all. I have one question. Over the year, it has become the general consequences that despite regulations in place, sustainability is not a norm for tourism growth in the state. Sir, can you explain this, sir? Though tourism policies of Sikkim in 2018, but sustainability is only the word, it's like only the norms, but it is following or not?
Is the question to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Wrong, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I'm getting a number of questions. If I was not audible, I'm surprised. No, let me be very frank with you, madam. What you asked me is very difficult to ask. I'll be creating a lot of enemies there. Yes, you're right. We talk about sustainability. We have to, but they are there are more violation of sustainability than following them. You know, like this the traffic jam in this one, the overcrowding, everything. But what we require, what I mean to say was that, what I say is, let us manage them. It is not, let us not throw the baby, let us not stop tourism just because it is polluting the atmosphere, it is congesting the cities, congesting the roads. Let us rather manage them. If you manage the traffic, I think what we need is a wider roads, better roads, maybe alternative roads also. And so we can divert the traffic to, if they need not come to Gangtok city, why should they go from the main artery of the road network in the state? They can go, even the army trucks, everything is going via this main road only. That is some difficulties. And so what we need in Sikkim is a management, traffic management, hotel management, and even the this congestion management, everything where we need a management. So even if you are pointing out about the guides and the drivers and all, they are not so hospitable in Sikkim. I think you are right to some extent, and for that we need to do capacity building training. We keep on doing. We have to. This is a continuous process, because the taxi drivers and all, they are also a floating population, so they need every season, at the beginning of season, we got to arrange training for these people, service providers like taxi drivers, guides, even the shopkeepers in MG Mark, they need some kind of a training. Training is the one answer I can tell you. I don't know whether I could give you a satisfactory answer, but as I told you in the beginning, I don't want to create a lot of enmity also. I also have to live in Gangtok city.
Sir, in the lieu, Saraswati, in the lieu, I can add, like, when we talk about tourism and destination development, especially when destination development is there, no? So basically, I think we require more manpower from tourism background. The people who can know relatively more about sustainability. Okay, like now, like for example, suppose take an example of Cherry Resort in Timitarko. No, see that place, the beauty of the place, that tea garden, right? It's such a beautiful place, like one of the most visited spot of tourists. But in the middle of that, there is one huge 4 or 5 story building in it. So like we as a Sikkimese people, we talk about eco destination. Sikkim is an eco destination. Sikkim is an eco destination, but that is not preferable, you know, like on a spot where it's a beautiful spot with scenic view and all. The number of tourists, they come there and visit, it doesn't look nice, a concrete building of a 4 story there. So like planning, when we plan about a destination management or destination planning, when we do that in the grassroots level, so from that particular level only, tourism background people should be included, so that you can see the sustainability of that particular destination later on, right? So Pikadong sir, because like technical people on like engineers and all, they are only included. That is what my point of view is, like the people who are like related with tourism, who understand tourism better, who knows what sustainability is all about, who knows what ecotourism is all about, they should also be included in the beginning of the planning phase itself. I think that can also be taken into account.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one very simple question to Chingan madam. One was giving a talk on women.
Yes, sir.
Rupa ma'am, can you please mute your laptop? So?
Well, my question is to madam who gave a talk on the women equality in Northeast. Are you from Manipur, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I'm from Manipur.
Oh, okay. Then hats up to you, because I have been to that mothers Bazaar.
Yeah.
You are completely emancipated, liberalized, and even the Olympic boxers and all, they come from Manipur, even in the sports field. So
yes.
I raise my hands to all the women of Manipur.
Thank you,
That was
sir.
a very good presentation. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Any more question?
Yes, sir. We have some more questions.
Good afternoon, teachers. My name is Anuradha Acharya from BSc STM, and my question is for Mahindra sir. So, in this pandemic scenario, what are the changing trends in sustainable tourism?
What are the changing trends in sustainable tourism?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, in Sikkim, when we talk about Sikkim and sustainability, and in my speech also, I told you, like governments are trying to implant some of the like for example Nathula, as I was talking about Nathula Pass. Previously, like more than hundreds of vehicles used to fly over Nathula every day. I mean, in the season, every day. Okay. So Nathula is one of the spot where the people, especially the domestic tourists, they want and come to visit that particular destination. So once in for a while, they want to see that. But no, it is not that key. Like if there is a demand, there's a demand and supply in tourism as well. So basically, it doesn't mean key if there is a demand, more and more demand from the side of tourists, it doesn't mean key we need to supply whatever the amount they are asking for. We need to have kind of a limitation for that. So basically in Nathula, what's happening is previously more than like 200 300 vehicles they used to fly over every day. I mean, every day in season. So that is like it's not keeping the sustainability of that particular spot. So right now what the government have done is they have like restricted the amount of vehicle that will fly over Nathula. They have restricted. And in other cases also, like for example, Katao, 0 Point, like these are like highly preferred destination, highly preferred spot in Sikkim. Whenever people go to North Sikkim, especially Lachen and Lachung, they prefer these two places, Katao and 0 Point. Now, those are very much, like we shouldn't allow like on an everyday basis traveling, letting tourists go to that particular destination every now and then, because sustainability will not be there in the future. Sustainability is all about like thinking about the future and walking towards it, right? So these are the things, like the governments are coming up with in certain spots, certain destinations where, the maximization of tourist inflow is every time there's increasing of tourist inflow. So they're trying to restrict the inflow of tourists and like taking into account the sustainability of that particular places. So that is what they are doing right now. So I think that is not only the part, not only from the part of government sector, but also like the travel agencies, tour operators also have to keep on the account that sustainability should be there. It shouldn't be like every now and then we are sending the tourists there on a bulk, and after a couple of years, a couple of time, that particular destination will, just the name will remain. It shouldn't be there. So keeping that in mind, restrictions should be there. Restrictions should always be there in such places. I think that is what the government is doing right now, Sikkim government. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do we have more questions?
Yeah, someone is there.
Good afternoon, everyone. I have one question goes to Mahendra sir. What resources and supports are available to help tourism business deal with the impact of COVID-19?
Resource.
I repeat,
Right now, I think right now, the vaccination. Resource will be vaccination. But see, like when Sikkim, after pandemic, when Sikkim was opened for tourists, there were like measures that was taken into account, like following, like the person who is traveling to Sikkim should be vaccinated, 2 doses of vaccination and all. So these are the things that has been going around, and that was going around. Now, right now, like everything is like open now for tourism. But for me, what I think is Corona is still there. It's still there. We are just simply, opening everything for tourism and all. But what I think is, again, there should be some let's not say guidelines, but restriction again. Like, for example, when we talk about types of tourism like GIT, group inclusive tour, and free independent tour. So I think emphasis shouldn't be given to GIT right now, group inclusive tour, because what do you call distance, social distancing and all. When we talk about group inclusive tour, social distancing, hardly social distancing comes into account because they're traveling in the group. So GIT should be stopped right now, and we should focus on FIT only. And in particular destination also, like we should have the data, everyday data, like how many tourists are visiting a particular destination. So on the basis of that particular data only, then we can imply on the number of tourists that will visit on that particular day. For example, restriction, like for example, suppose if some tourist is going to Nathula, so we have to take into account the number of tourists who is going to Nathula on that particular day. Not more than that, we shouldn't allow. In other destinations also, same thing. So I think right now, like everyone is traveling right now, but the group, still I'm saying Corona is still there. It is not gone, but we should restrict on that. The number of tourists going to a particular destination, we should keep the data, per day data, and on that particular day, then only we should measure ki, okay, are we going to allow tourists, more tourists to that particular destination or not? A kind of slab we can make it. Per day in this particular destination, 20 tourists, not more than that. So that what the travel agency can do is they can divert the particular tour. No, suppose one group is going to Nathula, send the other group to some other destination, and when the people comes back from Nathula, then send the other group to Nathula. So likewise, I think we can we can do that, I think, right now. Yes, Surya sir, you want to add something? She's talking about resources. Resources,
Yes,
so
sir,
I
yes, sir.
think
Actually,
resources.
technically, we can discuss about later because it is purely based on the carrying capacity. Later, we can
Right.
discuss about that. We have to reconstruct the carrying capacity to develop, to handle this pandemic situation. Let it be. Is any other questions, please? Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Ronak Pradhan and I'm from 35th semester. Actually, my question is from Mahendra sir. Sir, there is a saying that more development, more exploitation. In every country, they try to promote more tourism sector. In other hand, we talk about sustainability. Do you think that more development in tourism will maintain 100% sustainability in tourism resources?
We will come to PG, when if you want to, if you study further and come to PG, there will have this. There's a subject there, destination development, destination management. So, but the thing is, see, development should be there. Development should be there, but we have to keep in mind the sustainability as well, especially for tourist generating destinations like Sikkim and other destination as well. It's not that key. Like, for example, no offenses here, I'd like to give an example of Darjeeling. Okay, Darjeeling. See, like 10 years back or 15 years back, Darjeeling was one of the most preferred destination in Northeast. Darjeeling. Okay, so now what happened was, seeing that the government, the people of Darjeeling, they started, coming up with hotels, restaurants all over the places. If you happen to go to Darjeeling right now, if you enter the main road there, in both the sides of the road, there is restaurants and there is hotels. So there was no proper planning at all. There was no proper planning at all. So they didn't thought about the sustainability of that particular destination, Darjeeling. Right. So when you go there right now, it is like if you happen to stuck in the jam on that particular road, you'll be stuck there for like 1 hour, 2 hours. But no, what I'm thinking is what I want to say is, like, for instance, let's take an example of Sikkim now. When Sikkim started receiving the tourist in bulk, maximizing every now and there in particular season. So what they did was they started planning in such a way, like keeping in mind the sustainability of this particular destination. I'm just comparing Darjeeling with Sikkim right now. Okay. Now just compare it right now, Sikkim and Darjeeling. And the data itself speak. Data itself speak. The people who have already visited Darjeeling, they hardly like go back to Darjeeling again. Instead, they prefer Sikkim. Why? Because the planning has been done in such a way that there isn't that kind of rush. We have a traffic jam and all that's there, but it is not, like congested like Darjeeling. Every now and there, we don't find like in the both sides of the roads, we don't find hotels and restaurants. The roads are a little bit wider. In other destinations, like for Nathula, Changu Lake, Baba Mandir, also like some of the the government along with WWF all right way, they have started some some plannings how to sustain those particular places. Like for example, in Sikkim there is a ban of your smoking in public. It's banned. Uses of plastics is banned. We are not allowed to spit every now and there, everywhere. So that is kind of planning, because we want to sustain the destination. Okay, so that is how it goes right now, how it's going right now. Still, there are so many works, so much of work to be done for sustainability of destination. There are so much to be done again. Okay, so I think
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, do we have some more questions?
Any other questions?
My question to Mahendra sir.
Okay, just a minute. Sorry for the interruption. You can ask the question right now. If it is in a general question, we can discuss in the forum. If it is in a personal question, we can discuss in the classroom itself. Okay. Yes, shoot your question.
So, like most of the ongoing ecotourism projects just do something to earn money with using the name of eco, but still they fail to achieve targets what they have planned to obtain. How would you like to explain this situation?
Can you please
again, can you repeat?
So most of the ongoing ecotourism projects just do something to earn money with using the name of eco, but still they fail to achieve their targets. How would you like to explain this situation, sir?
I think when in the first question only, I think I've given you the answer of this, because see, in the name of ecotourism, here, no, what's happening is without the clear concept of what ecotourism and what sustainability is all about, people should be like, they should have more information on what is ecotourism and what is sustainability. Without the information, they are planning. That's what I told you. Whenever there is a planning of any destination or any spots, the manpower from tourism background should be included so that they can really give the answers about what ecotourism and sustainability is all about. Yes, Suresh sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I want to add that only because already this question answered by previous question itself. Whenever we are making the policy, particularly the sustainable tourism, or it may be an ecotourism. Right now, we can convert the name of sustainable ecotourism. Okay. But whenever we are making the policy makers should be aware about the tourism also. Sometimes it is mismatching. I think Dong sir will also accept that because he has a long experience in the government sector while he make policies.
Yeah, that's correct.
Isn't it, sir?
Yes, sir. No, you're right. We got to have not policy. We must be very clear about our vision. What sort of a destination we want.
Yes,
vision,
of course.
They don't have a vision. They want, do they want it neat and clean and safe and tranquil, that kind of a destination, or they want a congested, a lot of tourists and a lot of litter here and there thrown? That's all for the people to accept. Just let us be very clear about the vision, and then only make the policy. When you make a policy, the first point I always tell this, those who are drafting policy, I told them, what is your vision? So that is, you brought out a very interesting point, Dr. Suresh.
That's what I was saying.
Yes, sir.
See, the concept isn't clear for the people, like what ecotourism is all about, especially. In the name of what they think is ecotourism, make a hotel in the middle of the jungle, that is ecotourism. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. I gave you an example of Cherry Resort in Timitarko. It's the same thing. We call it eco destination, but how is it eco destination where you are like building a four-story hotel in the middle of a nice spot, Timiti Garden? So still the concept isn't clear for, I guess, from the government sector, for the government people also. The concept isn't clear, and for like the service provider as well, the concept isn't that much clear for them what ecotourism is all about. It's not clear at all. Yeah. So like, again, like when Pigadong sir said, no, like when we draft the policy, they should be aware about what ecotourism exactly is. Like now there is a theme of urban homestay. I think you have heard about this urban homestay, right? Previously, when we were studying, when we were doing our like research, this thing also, homestay, we used to think homestay is like in the outskirt, not in the cities or something like that, in the outskirt, where they serve whatever they prepare in the home, they serve to the tourists, like ambience, everything is like of home feel and all. But now this new concept has come up, urban homestay. Now I exactly don't know what urban homestay is still now. I'm trying to figure out what urban homestay is. Sanjeev sir, urban homestay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amanda, sir.
Because according to me, the concept of homestay is like on the outskirts, not near the town or near the cities, in the outskirts, not in the highway, national highway. In the highway itself, you will see urban homestays. There are 2-3 urban homestays here. Now, homestays concept is totally different. But now they're coming up with, I don't know if it's tourism related, if it's in the dictionary of tourism or not, urban homestay. I am still trying to find it out. So without clearing the concept, without being clear in your concept, you can't come up with the plannings and all. So it's same thing for the ecotourism also. Until and unless your concept is not clear, you shouldn't say you make a 5-story building and come up with the name ecotourism or eco destination. It's not that. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Any other questions? Not. I have a small clarification with the madam. Tingkang ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, the gender equality.
Yeah.
Particularly, I'm not going with any other details, only in the tourism entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Did you feel still there is any inequality in the tourism entrepreneurship?
Related to gender?
Ma'am?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Related to gender?
Related to the gender, I am asking any inequality.
Differences. Yeah.
Yeah, differences in
between the gender.
Between the gender. In particularly, I am asking about that tourism entrepreneurship.
Yes. Yeah, I think why? Because most of the tourism activities are in the hands of the, sorry, sir, in the, are controlled by the men, I think. Yeah, I am not saying that women's are not, not involving. It's involving, but related to direct involvement in the field of tourism, women are still lagging behind. What I'm saying is, yeah, if you have some other opinion, we can share it, sir. You can. I will love to know from your side also, so that it will be, enhance my knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, basically, what I'm thinking about that in the tourism entrepreneurship, generally the government and everybody, they are providing much more privilege to the female
women.
only.
Yeah.
Okay, male is also getting there, but not a dominated role. I think so. But we have an Arti ma'am also from the hospitality department and Rupa ma'am. Did you feel, ma'am? I think Palvi ma'am is also there. Because when we are talking about that entrepreneurship, it is purely related with the personal skill. It may be having the problem while they have to execute their entrepreneur skill in the area itself.
Yes.
But the coming forward is always based on the, I think it is not in the inequality. I feel like
Yeah.
that. That's why I want to get a clarification.
Yeah, it's not, so many facilities, many, programs are available for the female, but most of the enterprise, we can see women are dominating is in the field of, small scale industries. What I'm saying is that women are still dominating in this, small scale industries level. We are need to going upward. Most of the industries at a higher level are still dominating by the male section of the society. I'm not blaming the male section of the society for this. We need to going up to that position. Most of the tourism industries, the hotels, big hotels, who are dominating this? Still men section of the society. We need to come forward. We need to come upward. What I'm saying is that I'm not criticizing male section of the society. We need to work hard. We are still in this, medium and skill, small scale industries, micro enterprises and all. We should not limiting ourselves only to this section. We should come upward and we should try our at best level to show off, to utilize our entrepreneurial skills in handling these big industries. That is why I'm saying I'm just saying on in this context.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Actually, in Sikkim, what you are saying is right. Most of the small scale, micro and medium scale of industries, most successful entrepreneurs are female.
Yes, I know.
But
even in Manipur
similarly, I'm thinking about why they are not succeeded in the great manner, or why they are not able to go for a large scale of industries or anything.
Yes,
we have to find out that. Students try to find out the reason. If we are identify the problem, this is the reason, means we can identify the reason, then we can easily resolve it.
Yes.
We will try.
Yeah, I will try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Any more questions? So,
No, ma'am, no. No other question from this room.
if we have any suggestions or if any participants wants to talk or give us some feedback. Okay, then so with this, we have come to an end of today's online training program. I would like to thank our speakers of the day for taking time for us. Yes,
hold a second, Aarti. I think Mr. Sanjeev wants to ask something. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much and namaskar to all of you. For me, as assistant professor and a researcher, the session was very informative. And I have noted some of the points which I'm going to accommodate in our research. Maybe I'm the age of to writing my thesis. So PK Dongji, sir, your session was very nice. Because we have discussed about that. Room divisions and the capacity that is required in Sikkim, and also you have shared your all the experience, and that is my core area, which I'm just doing the research, doing the informations about service quality. So definitely, sir, and I'll approach you, for my, some more informations, because I gather more informations, and that is fruitful for me. And that ma'am also shared some of the informations, that is LGBT. that is gender equality and all. So now Government of India, they have started that the LGBT tourism in India. Earlier it was, the concept was not there, and that is also my part of the research, that more or less we all are being a hospitality or tourism personnel, focusing more on that persons, or maybe the female or male. But what about the person is gay? What about the person or some male or female? That is concept of the LGBT, and United Nations also given the notification and approval to think about that LGBT tourism across the world. So that is also a good session for me, and I have taken that is my takeaway from these sessions, and all the expert has given good information. So being a researcher, I have accommodated more informations, and definitely I'll keep in touch of all the speakers. I'll take the email ID from our coordinators, and I'll approach you. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your feedback. So I guess we'll end the program then.
Yeah.
I would like to thank our speakers of the day for taking time for us. We are very grateful for your lecture and also for your thoughts and experiences you shared with us. It was an interactive and fruitful session. I would also like to thank all the participants present today with us. With this note, we conclude today's program, and we will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.
And also tomorrow's program, we have the same 3 sessions. The first session will start from the sustainable ecotourism, particularly in the point of view, that means Sikkim tourism stakeholders view. Second one is sustainable rural tourism in Sikkim. Then third is eco-friendly adventure tourism. There are 3 sessions handled by the travel agency president, senior advisor for an task, the Travel Agents Association of Sikkim, and one more tourism entrepreneur, the young entrepreneur. Then third one is faculty member. That's all. These are the 3 sessions tomorrow. Kindly be on time tomorrow by sharp 11 o'clock. Okay. After the session, you have an feedback and format. Everything will be come over there. Tomorrow, that will be discussed in the tomorrow's session. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Aarti, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dong, sir. Thank you, sir.
I guess he left. The host can end the session, I guess.